Two people can work the exact same job, earn the exact same $72,000 salary over a decade, and end up with net worths that differ by hundreds of thousands of dollars. On paper, their financial lives look identical. But behind the scenes, one is quietly building an engine for financial independence, while the other is unknowingly trapped in a cycle of wealth destruction. It rarely comes down to who is smarter or who picks better investments. Instead, it comes down to invisible, daily behaviors. If you are in your 20s or 30s, the money habits you form right now will either construct the foundation of your future wealth or slowly dismantle it. There is a surprising observation you will notice as you spend more time looking at personal finance. Earning a high income does not automatically result in keeping a high net worth. Many people assume that once they cross a certain salary threshold, wealth will simply take care of itself. But here is the reality of why that doesn't happen. Wealth is not a measure of what you earn. Wealth is a measure of what you capture and compound. If your systems for capturing money are broken, your income level is irrelevant. There are 7 distinct behavioral money habits that keep people in a perpetual paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, regardless of their salary. The first habit is relying on frictionless spending. Modern banking and retail environments are engineered to remove all friction between your desires and your capital. One-click checkout, tap-to-pay, and saved credit card data make spending a thoughtless reflex. When spending is entirely frictionless, your money leaves your control faster than your logical brain can process the transaction. You are fighting a highly optimized system with sheer willpower, which is a losing battle. The second habit is proportional lifestyle inflation. This is the assumption that as your income grows, your standard of living must immediately expand to absorb that new income. If your salary increases by 15%, your rent, dining out, and travel budgets magically increase by 15%. The behavior behind this is treating your income ceiling as your spending target. But we will look at the exact numbers on how to reverse this in just a moment. The third habit is focusing on cash flow instead of total asset cost. This is often called the monthly payment illusion. When buying a car or a home, people are conditioned to ask, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" instead of "Can I afford the total cost of the asset?" This habit allows lenders to stretch out loan terms, keeping you poor by hiding massive interest costs behind affordable monthly increments. The fourth habit is dismissing the early runway. This is the belief that because you only have a small amount of money to invest right now, it isn't worth investing at all. People tell themselves they will start when they hit a $60,000 salary, or when they turn 30. There is a hidden mathematical penalty to this delay that most people don't fully understand, until it is too late. The interesting part happens when you measure the effort required to catch up, rather than just the final balance. The fifth habit is mental accounting with unexpected capital. When people receive a bonus, a tax refund, or a cash gift, their brain categorizes it differently than their standard paycheck. They treat it as play money. Because it wasn't factored into their normal monthly budget, they use it to fund lifestyle inflation, rather than treating it as deployable capital for wealth building. The sixth habit is upgrading fixed baseline costs instead of variable costs. If you want to reward yourself for a promotion, taking a vacation is a variable cost. It happens once and it's over. Upgrading to a luxury apartment or buying a more expensive car is a fixed cost. It raises your baseline survival number every single month. High fixed costs destroy your ability to pivot, invest, or take career risks, because your paycheck is already spoken for before it even hits your account. The seventh habit is treating money management as a motivational exercise instead of an architectural one. You do not see engineers building bridges out of good intentions. They build them out of load-bearing structures. If your financial plan requires you to consciously decide to save money at the end of every month, your architecture is flawed. Wealth building requires structural automation, where the decision to save and invest happens mechanically, without your active input. To understand why this architectural approach to money matters, we need to look at the numbers. On paper, two different financial strategies might look similar, but the long-term results are completely divergent. Let's look at a numbers demonstration regarding the fourth habit, dismissing the early runway. Instead of looking at the final account balance, let's look at the efficiency of the capital deployed. Consider an early investor who earns a modest salary. From age 22 to 31, they automate an investment of $6,000 a year. After 9 years, they have invested a total of $54,000. Then, due to a career change, they stop adding new money entirely. They never invest another dime, but they leave the money in an index fund, returning a conservative 7.5%. By age 55, that initial capital has compounded into roughly $370,000. Now look at a late starter. They wait until they are 31, earning a much higher salary. To catch up, they invest $12,000 every single year from age 31 to 55. Over 24 years, they contribute a massive $288,000 of their own money. At the same 7.5% return, they end up with roughly $705,000 at age 55. The late starter has more money overall, but look at the behavioral reality of what just happened. The late starter had to sacrifice $288,000 of their income to generate that wealth. They captured a return of about 2.4 times their invested capital. The early investor only sacrificed $54,000 of their income, yet their money multiplied by nearly 6.8 times. The early investor's money worked incredibly hard, requiring very little effort. The late starter had to work incredibly hard just to fund their portfolio. Time provides efficiency, and dismissing your early timeline means you are volunteering to work much harder later in life. Next, let's look at a real-life scenario for the second habit, proportional lifestyle inflation. Imagine a professional whose salary grows from $50,000 to $90,000 over a 7-year period. The standard behavior is to upgrade their apartment, their vehicle, and their wardrobe in exact lockstep with that $40,000 increase. Their lifestyle absorbs the raise completely, leaving their wealth-building capacity flat. But here is the practical lesson on how to break this pattern. You implement what is called a fractional capture strategy. When your income increases, you do not freeze your lifestyle completely. That often leads to burnout. Instead, you capture a predefined fraction of the spread. If you get a $10,000 raise, you allocate 50% to lifestyle upgrades, and you permanently divert the other 50% to automated investments. You still feel the reward of your hard work, taking home an extra $5,000 for your daily life. But structurally, you just increased your annual wealth-building engine by $5,000 without feeling a single ounce of financial restriction. Over a decade of raises, this single system quietly builds a massive portfolio in the background, entirely bypassing the willpower trap. Understanding how to build wealth means unlearning the default habits society pushes on you. It requires shifting your focus from how much money you make to how much capital you efficiently capture and deploy. Breaking the habits of frictionless spending, proportional lifestyle inflation, and ignoring your early timeline is not about restricting your life. It is about taking control of your financial architecture. Building passive income and escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle is a slow, methodical process, not a sudden event. It relies on consistency, structural automation, and recognizing the behavioral traps that keep most people financially stagnant. If you found these concepts helpful, your next logical step is to audit your own financial systems this week. Look at where your income naturally flows and identify where you can insert positive friction to capture more of your wealth. Would you like me to walk you through a specific framework for automating your investment accounts next?